Welcome to the Fixture by WICC. As always, I'm your host, Meg Linehan. I'm a staff writer at The Athletic covering the NWSL and the U.S. Women's National Team. Now, there is still one final set of matches to be played in Orlando for the SheBelieves Cup, but we've got plenty from that tournament already on today's show, including a special segment to belatedly celebrate Marta's birthday and a news recap to catch you up on everything else you need to know. So let's get going. So despite some pretty solid competition from Canada and Brazil, the U.S. Women's National Team has picked up results from their two first tests of the SheBelieves Cup. Now, first, let's talk about the match against Canada. Perhaps after that solid defeat of the Netherlands in the Netherlands last November, then two comprehensive wins over Colombia, we kind of forgot how this won't actually be the easiest journey to the Olympics. Now, a lot of chance creation in that match, not a lot of refined finishing against Canada, but part of this is that Canada, despite missing a lot of key players, really looked good, right? But for the match against Canada, it was really just a team not necessarily adapting to the game, trying the same runs to break Canada down or trying to break them down centrally, neither of which really had much luck. Now, still, Andonovski has a lot of options at his disposal, and game-changing subs of Kristen Press, Alex Morgan, and Rose Lavelle made all the difference, with Lavelle providing the breakthrough goal, cleaning up a second chance opportunity with a great finish through traffic with her weak foot. Now, the team did tighten it up against Brazil a bit, though with any U.S. Women's National Team match against Brazil, this was just a wide open game for the most part, with both teams really just throwing punches at each other. But that is USA versus Brazil. Now, while they were on the break a lot, the U.S. got a goal much earlier in this one thanks to Kristen Press, again, a game changer. With the assist from Lindsey Horan, Press was able to pull off her signature move with the cutback to get the clean shot and put the team up 1-0. That said, there were still a very good number of chances from Brazil, and Marta and Debinha found a lot of success running down the right-hand side and trying to pick at their way through Emily Sonnet at outside back and Abby Dahlkemper centrally. Now, while Debinha sent Brazil's best chance of the night wide late in the second half, that also gave the United States their traditional chance to finish this one off, with Megan Rapinoe in off the bench providing the insurance goal, and then the celebration in honor of new moms Ali Krieger and Ashlyn Harris and baby Sloan. Now, the main goal of this tournament, as it has always been, is to learn something about the team early in the year, especially in a year with a major tournament. Now, with only 2 games gone, 1 more to go, I think these are definitely A, going to teach us something, but B, going to affect the work ahead to prepare for the Olympics. While our focus here at the Fixture tends to be the U.S. Women's National Team, simply because of where I am, where we are, it's worth highlighting the 3 other teams in SheBelieves Cup, simply because this tournament has had some very solid performances so far, and I think across the board has punched above its expectations before we went into this tournament. But first, it is very important that we actually talk about Argentina's performance in the right context, just like when the U.S. played those 2 friendlies against Colombia. The team hasn't played together in ages. They kind of have a coaching situation. They have players asking for better conditions. So while Brazil earned a fairly comfortable win in match 1, and then Canada pushed past them in stoppage time with a heartbreaker, Argentina has looked pretty good considering where they're at in their cycle. One other major note, again, not great for Argentina here, but Lorena Benitez was stretchered off the field in the match against Canada, which is a significant loss for them. Over to Brazil. This is our first meaningful look at the work Pia Sundhage is doing in Brazil, at least from the U.S. She has had multiple games, but this is really our first chance here in the U.S. to get a sense of some of that progress made. But honestly, these early signs are very encouraging. Ludmilla has earned a ton of minutes up top alongside Debinha, who of course shifts further up in the field with the national team. Now, I know I talk about Debinha a lot, both on the show and my other work, but that's also because I have watched the course of her growth as a player in North Carolina, and she was one of the most dangerous players for Brazil across their 2 matches so far, and a couple of times was really only a matter of inches of sneaking a ball past Alyssa Nair. Canada impressed in match 1 against the US despite their loss, and then picked up that win over Argentina in stoppage time, but they don't look quite as cohesive as they could yet. But again, same boat for a lot of these teams. This is a team that is only really starting to play together, and they're under a new head coach with a ton of key players missing. So a lot of discussion about the US national team's lack of finishing in this tournament, and I'm sure Bev Priestman is also having those exact same conversations with her players during this tournament. At the same time, it is a ton of significant minutes for Canada that really needs time together before the trip to Tokyo. Marta celebrated her 35th birthday on February 19th, and it felt like the perfect opportunity to take a little extra time to highlight this incredible player who, of course, scored in Brazil's first match of SheBelieves Cup, but it's a lot more than just goals. 6-time FIFA World Player of the Year, the all-time record goal scorer at the World Cup, winning championships in 3 countries at least, including back-to-back trophies with FC Gold Pride and the Western New York Flash back in WPS here in America. Now, if I was going to list every single honor Marta has ever been given, we would be here for the entire rest of the day at least. But of course, one more notable one, Marta was honored as one of the inaugural WICC Best 11 honorees in 2020. And let me tell you, I feel very comfortable saying this is the only time I have ever been given the same award as Marta and the only time that will ever happen again. But here's a little segment of her video, and if you haven't seen the whole thing, make the time to watch.
Muitas coisas dessas hoje está mais avançado porque a gente vem combatendo o preconceito, né, firmemente há muitos anos e vem diminuindo. Graças a Deus a gente vem abrindo portas que na época que eu comecei estavam fechadas.
Of course, I've had the honor of covering Marta for a while, sitting down with her for an interview too, which just feels surreal and incredible. But as amazing as she is on the pitch, for as widely as that speech after the World Cup went viral in the summer of 2019, I'm also just so glad that we get to witness how much joy she has playing the game at practice, at home, playing thanks to how much she shares on Instagram. If you don't follow her on Instagram, trust me, you want to do that. All right, we've gotten to watch the greatest do her thing for so many years, and she's still going strong. So happy birthday to the GOAT, Marta. With so much focus here in the States on SheBelieves Cup, it is worth taking a quick spin around for some other news that you might have missed. But before we get off the topic of SheBelieves Cup entirely, got some very good news to start off with when it comes to the TV numbers, with 498,000 viewers tuning in for USA versus Canada, making it the most watched game ever for this particular tournament. Crazy things happen when you put games on TV. All right, over to the NWSL, the Washington Spirit added a ton of new investors, including Chelsea Clinton, Jenna Bush Hagar, both former first daughters, as well as U.S. women's national team legend Brianna Scurry and gold medal winning gymnast Dominique Dawes, and that list keeps going for a whole lot longer. All right, but good news for the Spirit, who are certainly making a lot of moves this offseason. This isn't strictly a soccer update, but another NWSL owner, North Carolina Courage owner Naomi Osaka, won the Australian Open this past week after defeating fellow NWSL owner Serena Williams in the semifinal. Finally, over to Europe for a quick check-in during the international break over there. We are getting in some more Euros qualifiers this month with a few results in already. 2 of the 3 were quite lopsided, with Spain and Scotland picking up double-digit clean sheet wins last Thursday, plus Finland edging past Portugal 1-0 last Friday. And France picked up a 2-0 win in their first friendly against Switzerland, which replaced their attempt at a 4-team tournament after 2 other teams had to drop out with COVID-19 concerns. Thank you for joining me here. As always, I will be back with you next Wednesday for all the latest on the world of women's soccer, plus, of course, all the rest of SheBelieves Cup. Make sure you follow at ICC Women on Twitter and Instagram for all the latest, and you can like International Champions Cup on Facebook so you don't miss anything there. You can find me at It's Meg Linehan. Thank you for watching.